He was despised and rejected, struck down, and yet he bore our infirmities. All of this, familiar to many Christian readers of Scripture, is actually a quotation from chapter 53 of the book of Isaiah, one of the most rare examples that we have of a figure known as the suffering servant. Who exactly is the suffering servant, and how does it benefit us to read about him in the original Hebrew of the book of Isaiah? Hi, I'm Jonathan Lipnick, a professor at the Israel Institute of Biblical Studies. And today we're going to take a closer look at the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 5. והוא מחולל מפשענו מדוכא מעוונותינו, מוסר שלומנו עליו, ובחבורתו נרפא לנו. But he was wounded for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the punishment that made us whole, and by his bruises we are healed. We see the phrase wounded for our transgressions used. But in fact, in the original Hebrew, the language is even stronger and gives us more assurance that the passage can be read with a Christological interpretation. Because the word is not simply wounded, it's actually pierced. Mecholal, which comes from the Hebrew root chalal, chet lamed lamed, that has to do with opening something up and leaving an empty cavity. The wounds which Jesus received on the cross, according to the Gospels, are a perfect manifestation of the concept of mecholal. We see this word used in the book of Ezekiel, we see this word used in the book of Psalms, and each time the sense is that something sharp is penetrating something soft. Another interesting phrase that's found in this verse is, by his bruises we are healed. What we have here is yet another very rare example of the concept of vicarious suffering. That is to say, the servant, by means of his undergoing suffering, is providing healing to others. But what we have here is a fascinating word in Hebrew that's not reflected in the translation. The word for a bruise is a chabura. Chabura comes from the root chavar, chet bet resh, which means to link things together, to connect them, to cause a process of healing to come about. And it's really fascinating that these bruises, which the suffering servant receives according to the book of Isaiah chapter 53, are already in the grammar of the Hebrew language, indicating a future process of reconciliation. Join me in the next video of this series, where we take a closer look at the fascinating book of Haggai, not one of the books that is well known by Christian readers of Scripture, and yet one of the most fascinating in the Hebrew Bible. If you found this video interesting, give us a like, subscribe, and visit our website.